I am going to be a grandma and I am super excited. So today I am making some milestone medallions to help keep track of those stages that go by way too quickly. Here are the supplies I'm using, as well as an SVG that I designed specifically for this project. So make sure and go to my website, thecraftyblogsstalker.com, and grab that download. I'll also have a supply list with links in the description of this video and in the blog post. I'm gonna start by painting my acrylic medallions. I've got some white and sage green paint. With these acrylic medallions, there is a protective sheet on both the front and the back. When painting, I'm only going to take off one side to help make sure I don't get paint on the other side. And I can just use a weeding tool to carefully lift that up. It will scratch, so you do want to be careful. See how that comes up. A little bit of paint. And then you can see what the other side's gonna look like. I'm gonna do this for all of my medallions. To make the complete set, I need 16. Here are all of my painted medallions, and I'm gonna let these dry completely. Next, I'll go to Cricut Design Space. I do want to point out that I am using my device. If you are using a computer, Cricut Design Space will look a little bit differently. All of the functions are the same, the icons are just in different places. On a device, they're all along the bottom, and on a computer, they're along the top and side. I have already uploaded that SVG into Cricut Design Space. I just need to pull it into my canvas. I'll go to Upload, Open Uploaded Images, Highlight, and then Add to Canvas. Here are all of my medallions. Before I cut them, I need to ungroup. So I'm going to highlight the entire section. I'll open my Layers panel. See how I have that little exclamation point? That means my file is too big. For this particular file, all I need to do is ungroup. Now that exclamation point is gone and I am good to cut. One thing that is not included with this file that I do want to make really quick is a circle to use as a guide on my acrylic discs. I'll go to Shapes, Circle, and I want to make it a specific size. Go to Edit and change the width to 3.875. That is the size of the discs that we are using. When I purchased them, it said that they were 4 inches, but they're actually just a tiny bit smaller, so I'm going with that 3 7/8 size. I want this to be cut out of a different material than the medallions. So I'm just going to go in and change the color of it. Doesn't matter what color, just to make sure that it cuts on a different mat. Now I can go to Make It. I can see there's my paper mat, and then there are my medallions. We'll cut our paper mat first. I'll click on Next. This first layer is cardstock. Then I can load my mat and cut that circle shape. So there is my circle. For my medallion pieces, I'm using Smart Vinyl. I'm going to click Cancel and then go to my mat. I am going to change my material to without a mat. I should have done that before, but I didn't. Now I can select Next and Smart Vinyl. For my Smart Vinyl, I'm going to use this little tray. Load my vinyl. I'm done cutting, so I can cut that off and unload my mat. Now I can just weed each of my medallions. I know that's hard to see because it's white vinyl with a white background. I start with the outer part. Then I'll take this first part and kind of wrap it in on itself. And then I can use this to stick my little pieces to. I want to go nice and slow to make sure none of my pieces come off that I don't want to come off, like that end really wants to come off. There we go. Don't forget the center of the letters. There's my first one. I know that's kind of hard to see. I'm just going to repeat that and weed all of my designs. I have all of my vinyl pieces weeded. Now I can start putting them on my medallions. That paint is completely dry. I have my paper circle that we cut, a square sheet of parchment paper, and some transfer tape that I've already cut down to size. I'm going to start by applying my transfer tape to that medallion. I'm going to take my square of parchment paper and I'm going to put that behind the design, and this will keep that that design from sticking before I'm ready for it to stick. I've got my light pad. I'm going to turn it on And the reason I cut this circle is because it just makes it easier to see when I'm applying that vinyl. I can take off the protective sheet on the other side. I'm going to put that circle on the back. Place that down. And then when I'm trying to center that design, that cardstock or solid color circle behind just really helps me see where the lines are so I can make sure and get that nice and centered. I think that looks really good. So I'm going to press down there at the top. Then I can lift this and pull out that sheet of parchment paper and then roll this down to apply my vinyl. Press that into place and peel back my transfer tape. And I'm going to use this transfer tape several times. There is that medallion. Isn't that so stinking cute? Now we aren't quite done with them yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do all of my other medallions before we move on to that last step. I have the vinyl on all of my acrylic medallions. They're just all over here to the side. And now I'm going to apply some resin to the back because this can be scratched easily. So the resin will make it so these last longer and look perfect for a long time. I am using AB resin. You could also use the UV light resin. For AB resin, you just mix the same amount of A and B. I will probably have to mix this a couple of times just because I don't have a big enough cup that will hold all that I need for all of my medallions. Then I'll stir it together, and I want to stir until the two liquids are completely combined. And that looks really good. I just did one off camera to make sure I knew what I was doing. So let's take this second one. I'm going to turn it over because remember we want to apply the resin to the back where the paint is. And you really don't need that much resin. You would think that you need more. Just spread it out. And this resin is auto leveling, but you do still want to make sure that you get it all the way to the edges. It's easier to add more if you need more than to try and scrape excess off. So just add a little bit at a time. Okay, that looks really good. And then to pop all the bubbles, you want to use a flame. You could use either a lighter. I have this mini butane torch that works great. But since my top here is plastic, I don't want to just hit it with it. So I've got a little spatula here. Help me pick it up. And then I can just hit it with that torch and it gets rid of all of those bubbles. So it'll be nice and clear when it dries. And then I can lay that back down for it to cure. I can move on to the next one, and I'm just going to repeat this with all of my medallions. I've applied resin to the back of all of my medallions, and now I just need to let them dry. They are fully cured after 24 hours, but are safe to handle after about 12. So I'm going to go ahead and just let them sit. My medallions have cured overnight, and they are nice and dry. They aren't tacky at all. So now we can start handling them and turning them over. And they look so good. Some of them look better than others. That one has like a little divot in it, but that's okay. Here are all of those medallions, all finished, and I just think they look fantastic. Now, if you wanted to, you could also apply some resin to the front, and that would help keep that vinyl on there more permanently. But I don't really have a worry of the vinyl getting removed because it's not like the kids are going to be playing with these regularly. They are just for photo ops. I am so excited to give these to my daughter for my new grandson. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me today, and make sure to stop by my website, thecraftyblogsstalker.com, so that you can grab this free SVG as well. Thanks everyone. Bye and happy crafting.